Welcome students. So we were discussing the credit policy changes in the previous class, and we have seen the short term changes, and as a result of that we have seen that there is incremental profit, and that profit was substantial. So we will have to see only in case of the short term that if we increase the sales and increase the variable cost only, so what will be the incremental profit and how should we take the decision. Now we talk about the long term policy changes. That is not the short term change, it is a long term change, permanent change, and that will remain fixed for next 1 or 2 years. Then we will review the market situation and then we will see that further change is required or not. So when we go for the permanent or the long term change in the credit policy, the factors to be considered are different. Again we have to use the incremental analysis here also, but that has to be used in a different way, in a different style, and we have not only to take into account the variable cost, but we will have to take into account the total cost, and as a result of change in the credits is not only going to increase the investment in the credit sales, but is going to increase the investment in the other current assets also. Your inventory level will increase because you have to buy more, because we are going to produce more and more, sell more in the market on the permanent basis. So you have to produce more, you have to say keep in the inventory more, you have to sell more. So because of that your inventory requirements will go up, your say advance payments sometime requirements will go up, your cash requirements will go up. So it is not only going to increase the investment in the say receivables, it is going to investment in the other current assets also. So in that case we have to evaluate the total changes or total increase in the investment in all the current assets including the accounts receivables, and then we will see that as a result of that increased relaxed credit policy on the long term basis, what is going to be the net result. Apart from that, our say investment cost is there, say our collection cost is there, our bad debt losses will also increase. So many say factors will be changing, and all those factors should be considered while evaluating a policy change on the long term basis, and it will be totally different as compared to what we did in the previous class and learned about say measuring the say short term policy change or relaxing the credit policy only for the short while or the short period. So say changing the credit policy for the long term or on the long term basis is totally different and is going to create a different situation. So how to evaluate the long term changes? Again let us take the help of another case, and that case is quite interesting and that is going to take into account many factors, and finally we are going to learn about that if some long term credit policy changes are expected to be done by the firm, then what important factors should be considered and how the decision should be taken. Right. So we have another case here, and that case is quite comprehensive. It takes into consideration almost many factors. So what the case is, let us understand the case or the situation. Present market size of the industry in which Gamma Limited, name of the company, operates is 5,000 crores rupees, 5,000 crores, which is growing at the rate of 10% per annum. Industry is growing overall, that market is growing for that product or for that industry at the rate of 10%. So 5,000 crore is today and is growing at the rate of 10% per annum. Gamma Limited has 20% growing at the rate of 10%, and Gamma Limited has 20% market share, which works out to be 1,000 crores. So out of 5,000 crores, 1,000 crore is held by Gamma Limited. Its desire is to increase market share by 5%, right, from 20 to 25% they want to make the market share. As a part of various strategy formulations, the company is also considering an alternative receivables policy, because they cannot increase the market share without not extending the further credit, without not relaxing the credit policy. So they will have to consider the changes in the credit policy also. Marketing department is of the view that it can achieve 25% target if its credit policy is relaxed, not on the present credit terms, but they have to relax the credit policy terms. But as a consequence of it, the average collection period is likely to increase from 60 days at present. They are selling at present for 60 days credit period, they are giving currently 2 months credit, and then they want to increase it now from 60 days to 90 days, means from the 2 months to 3 months. Further, the company believes that relaxation of the credit policy would not have any major impact on the existing customers, right. Existing customer would continue to cooperate with the company, and they would not have any, there is not any negative impact upon the existing customers, both in respect of collection efforts and the bad debt losses. Say if you are selling for the 60 days, even then they are ready to do business with the company, and if you are increasing the credit period for them as well as to others, even then they are going to have same terms as well as the same situation. Cost of collection department is 5 crores. Currently the collection department which the company is maintaining is 5 crores, which is likely to be increased by 20% due to increase in sales, right. So it means that increase is 1 lakh rupees increase, 1 crore rupees increase is expected. So 20% increase is expected to be there. Relaxation of credit policy may cause increase in the bad debt losses to rise for the new customers. New customers, because they are going to be tried for the first time. They are not our existing customers, they will be tried for the first time. So it means that is going to have us the problem the company is going to face, that is of the increased bad debt losses. Overall impact is expected to be 1.3% as against 1% of the bad debt losses. So bad debt losses may go up from 1% to 1.3%. Cost of sales will come down to 78% due to the economies of increasing scales from present level of 80% of sales, that is a cost of sales, the total cost. Cost of sales will come down to 78% due to economies of increasing scale from present level of the 80% of the sales. So the cost of sales is 80% currently, but when you are increasing the production and increasing your market share and selling more in the market, your cost of production will go down, or cost of sales will go down from 80% to 78%. Investment in current assets other than receivables is expected to go. Yes, now it is a very important question. I was talking to you that not investment in the accounts receivables is going to increase. Investment in other current assets also, inventories, advance deposits, then say your cash, that is going to increase along with the investment in the current assets, or maybe in the current assets along with the investment in the receivables. Investment in the current assets other than receivables is expected to go up to 318.99 crores from the present level of 231.05 crores, right. Funds available from current liabilities. So it is not only going to increase the investment in the current assets, in say funds available from the current liabilities, from the spontaneous finance, that is the suppliers credit and the expense credit, that is also going to supplement, that is also going to increase, and funds available from the current liabilities will also increase up to rupees 87.31 crore from the present level of the 63.24 crores. So it means there is also going to be increase of some thing like say about how much, that is about 24 crores of the funds will be available from the current liabilities, from the spontaneous finance, others we have to arrange. Physical carrying cost of inventory is 0.5% per annum, and the opportunity cost of capital is 20% per annum. Advise the company about the changes in the credit policy proposed to be made. Advise the changes in the credit policy about to be, advise the company about the changes in the credit policy proposed to be made. So whether company should relax its credit policy from 60 days to 90 days. As a result of that, additional investment will be there, additional cost will be there, additional losses will be there, and despite that the company is going to have additional profit or not, incremental profit or not. Company is going to achieve the target of having 25% market share or not, that is a $1 million question. So because their market share is 20%, so they want to increase it by 5% more, which is a very large amount, substantial amount, 5%. In the market of 5,000 crores, which is growing at the rate of 10%, growing means increasing the market share say by 5%, that is a very big task. So whether the company will be able to achieve this target or not, they are going to increase their sales by selling both on cash as well as credit, relaxing the credit terms on the long term basis, so that they become the sustained player in the market. So whether the company will succeed in achieving that target or not, they are evaluating all these say possibilities and propositions, and what will be the net result, that has to be seen after the detailed analysis. So, now let us make the analysis. Here the method of making analysis is little different. Method of making analysis is little different. Here what we have to work out is, first we have to work out is the additional investment in the total current assets. First, the beginning will be how much additional investment we are going to have in the, because you have the say increased credit period information is with us, that is from 60 to 90 days. Bad debt losses information is with us, right, and then say collection cost, department's cost information is with us, but the opportunity cost is 20%, and how much would be that cost, that will only be possible for us to work out if we have the total investment information with us. So, as we have concluded here that when we are going to increase the investment in the accounts receivables, it is not only accounts receivable, the investment is going to increase, all the current assets level is going to be at the next level. So, we will have to first we will have to start this analysis by working out of the investment in the total current assets, increased investment in the total current assets. So, if you look at this information, we are given the information about the current assets other than accounts receivables where additional investment will be required and how much that investment will be required. So, investment in the current assets other than receivables is expected to be 318.99 crore from the present level of 231.05 crores. So, other than the accounts receivables, investment needs or increased investment requirements are already given to us, that is in the current assets other than that can be inventory, that can be cash, that can be advance deposits, but accounts receivables investment we have to work out as the increased credit period and the because of some other factors. So, let us do this analysis and learn how to evaluate the long term policy changes. So, credit policy changes, here we take the credit policy changes and this is long term, this is long term, right. So, first of all we will have to begin this analysis by working out the additional investment in the accounts receivables. So, we will have to do this calculation of investment, or you can call it as additional investment, calculation of investment in, not additional, total investment we are going to. So, calculation of investment in accounts receivables, right, this we will have to do. Other is available to us, other than accounts receivables investment is available to us. So, we will have to do it at two levels. First thing is particulars, right, then is the say investment at the selling price, at selling price and at, we have to evaluate at both the price, at cost price, selling price and at the cost price and amount is in rupees crores, amount is in rupees crores. So, this is also available with us. So, we will have to see here what is the existing investment, existing investment here is existing investment at the selling price is how much, what is the existing market share, that is 1000 crores, and how much is the credit period we are giving, that is 60 by this is 60 by 365, 60 by 365, this is the one, because this is the only investment we are making in the accounts receivables, because we are giving the credit period of 60 days, and at this level at the cost price if you calculate, you have to take it as the rupees 1000, and we have to take the cost, and the cost of sales is 80%, right, and again the credit period is 60 days. So, this is at the cost price divided by the 365. So, how much investment works out here, this is something like 164, if you solve this 164.38, and here this investment is how much, this investment is 131.85 crores. So, it means this investment, sorry, this is not 85, but this is something different, this investment is 50, 131.50, 131.50 crores. This is crores of the investment, right. These are two investment which are existing, that is at the selling price we have invested, or we are say expected to invest 164.38 crores, and at the cost price we are investing the 131.50 crores. Now projected, how much is additional required now? Projected investment, right. So how much we are expecting our market share to be? That is 375 crores. What was the market share? If you look at here, the 1375 crores. If you look at work out the market share, which is the we are growing at this level and we want to increase the market to 25%, and the market is also growing at the rate of 20%. So our total market share will become, if you take it to 25%, so what will be it? This will become not 1000 now, it will become 1375 crores, and credit period is going to be how much? 90 days, right, divided by 365. This is 90 days, 365, and here it is how much? At cost we will have to see 1375 into what is the cost here? That will now come down from the 80% to 78%, 0.78 into 90 by 365, right. So this is going to be the new investment level, that our market share will increase from the 1000 to say 1375 crores, and the credit period will increase from 60 to 90 days. So at the selling price we are taking 1375 as 1375, and at the cost price we are taking the 78% of 1375, because the cost is expected to decrease from the say 80% to 78%, but the credit period is again same, that is 90 days. So how much investment we are expecting now in the accounts receivables? That is rupees 339.04 crores, and here it is, this investment is going to be how much? This is going to be at cost price, if you consider, 264.45 crores. This is this much of the crores of the investment is there. This investment is there. We are going to have this much of the investment, right. So this thing is very clear. In the problem given to us, that if we are investment in the current assets other than accounts receivables, I will say other than accounts receivable is going to be 318.99 crore at both the levels, because we are not valuing the receivables, say other assets on the selling price or the cost price. So the investment in the current assets other than the receivables is expected to be 318.99 crore from 231.05 crores, and the investment in the accounts receivables we have worked out. At the cost this is going to be the, at the selling price this is going to be the investment, at the cost this is going to be the investment. This is the existing level of investment, that is 164.38 crores we have invested if we are valuing it at selling price, and 131.50 crores we have already invested into the credit sales accounts receivables if we are valuing them only at the cost and we are ignoring the profit. New investment expected to be at the selling price, it is expected to be 339.04 crores from the existing level of 164.38 crores and that is at the selling price, and at the cost price this is expected to be 264.45 crores from the existing level of 131.50 crores. So now this investment we have worked out in the receivables, projected investment in the other current assets other than the receivables is already given to us. Now on the basis of this total investment requirements, let us work out, do a incremental analysis, start doing the incremental analysis and try to find out that how much say the final outcome is there, whether we end up at making the profits or we are we end up at making the losses. That will be seen with the time, but let us make the calculations and let us go ahead with this further analysis. And this further analysis is again called as the incremental analysis, or we have to calculate the, we will have to prepare the marginal profitability statement. So, for this let us make this analysis. So, let us go for this say preparing a statement which is called as profitability statement of alternative credit policies. Of alternative credit policies profitability statement of alternative credit policies, right. So, what we have to do, we have to again make a table and do the detailed incremental analysis. So, first one, it is the serial number, then is the particulars, then we have to take the say receivables valued at cost, or receivables valued at cost and receivables valued at selling price, right. Receivables valued at cost, receivables valued at selling price. So, this way we will have to do this further analysis. So, in doing this analysis, we will have to now consider all the factors which are important for this analysis. So, first of all, number 1, what we are going to calculate here is marginal profitability of sales or incremental profitability of sales, marginal profitability of sales, because we are going to have additional sales. When we are going to relax the credit policy on the long term basis, we are going to have the additional sales. So, this is the marginal profitability of the sales. And how much is going to be the marginal profitability of the sales or the incremental profitability of the sales? This can be calculated. So, how much we are going to sell extra now, means the total sales will be worth rupees 1375 crores, and what is the say we are talking about the first the profit part. So, how much is the current 1375? So, what will be the cost here? Cost will come down to 0.78, right, and 1375 into 1 minus 0.78, and in this case we close the bracket. And what was the existing level? Existing level was 1000 into 1 minus 0.80, right. So, this is the profitability we are going to have. If we are considering the 80 and 78 as the cost of sales, total cost of sales including all the cost, not only variable cost. In that case, what will happen? Your new sales level will be by increasing the market share of market which is growing at the rate of 10%. Our new market share will be 25%, and that will be 1375 crores, and the cost of sales will come down to 78%, as against the market share which we had when we had the credit policy, like say not a relaxed one, only 60 days credit period. Our total sales were 1000 crores and the cost of sales was 80%, right. So, in that case, if you look at the profit here, profit is same, right, that is rupees 102.50, and here also 102.50, right. This is the same profit we are going to have at both the levels. There is no impact upon the profit. Profit is going to remain the same. So, at both the level, the profit is going to be 102.50, whether the investment in the receivables is considered at cost or it is considered at the selling price. That will affect only the investment cost, but not will affect the profits. Profits we are going to have 102.50 2.50 crores at both the levels, whether we consider the investment in accounts receivables at the cost price or at the selling price. Now calculate the investment. How much investment is required to be made? So additional investment in the net current assets including receivables. Additional investment in net current assets, additional investment in net current assets, receivables, accounts receivables valued at cost, accounts receivables valued at cost. How much investment is going to be there now? When the receivables are valued at cost, you see that when we are talking about the receivables are valued at cost, here it is the important component for us. So what is going to be the new investment here we are going to have? That investment which is 264.45 will be the in the accounts receivables, and 231.68 which is given to us here is, that is 231.68, that is the investment which is given to us. So total investment will become how much? That investment will be this investment is given to us here is, that is the 1. So it is going to be how much? This is 231.05 was old and new will be 318.9 crores, 318.99 crores. So this investment we are working here, and that is the additional investment in the net current assets. So when the receivables are valued at cost, so what will be that additional investment in the net current assets? That will be 231. This will be the additional investment, that is 231, that is 231, this is going to 231 rupees, 231.68 plus 264.45. This is the investment in the total investment in the total current assets, and what this is a new investment. And what was the existing investment? Existing investment is 168.81 plus 131.50 crores, 131.50 crores. So this is going to be the new investment. This is 167.81 plus 131.50, and it is 231.68 and 264.45. So from where it is coming? We have seen here that how much is the old investment in the other current assets, 231.05, and when we were taking the old investment in the current assets was 231 point this much of the 05 crores. And here if you take this investment is how much is in the new investment in the assets here? This investment we are taking here is, that is 264.45. So look at this, how much we have worked out here is 264.45 crores is the investment here. So this is the new investment minus old investment, and the old investment if you look at the 167 is, we have calculated in this is the 131.5 crores, that was in the say accounts receivables investment. Earlier this investment was there, and if you look at the investment which we had now, existing investment which we had calculated was 164.38, and in this case if you look at this investment is now at the cost price is 131.5 and at the selling price is 164.38. So if you calculate this total investment, that is 231.68 plus 264.45, this is the additional investment. Now the total investment, new investment, and what was the existing investment, this is the sum total is this investment. So if you talk about the additional investment we are making here is this minus this works out as 196.82 crores. This is 196.82 crores, that is at the when the receivables are valued at cost. Next thing is that when the receivables are valued at the selling price, additional investment additional investment in net current assets when accounts receivables are valued at when the accounts receivables are valued at the selling price. How much investment we are going to make here now? That investment is little, I think we will have to work out, which is already additional investment in the net current assets, receivables valued at selling price. So it is going to be again 231.68 and plus it is going to be 339.04 minus 167, same 167.81 plus 164.38, 164.38. So we are taking this 164.38, this is the 164.38, this is the investment here. And if you look at this investment, how this investment works out as receivables valued at cost was 196.82, and this will, if you this minus this minus this will work out as rupees 238.53 crores, 238.53 crores. So this is the two investments. So an incremental profit is here. This is the incremental profit at both the levels. Receivables are valued at cost and receivables are valued at selling price, and this is the investment we are making, because investment in the total current assets, only the investment will be differing in the accounts receivables if they are valued at cost and they are valued at selling price, whereas the investment in the other current assets will remain the same. So total investment which we are making, or you can call it as marginal investment we are making here, is that is 196.82 crores, which we have worked out here. And when we valued the receivables at selling price, so for the other assets the investment is remaining the same, only for the receivables the investment level is changing. So when we have taken that into account, so and when we worked it out, so we have seen that because of the relaxed credit policy, increased sales and increased credit period, we are going to have the additional investment in this is that investment in the receivables we are going to have at the selling, when the receivables are valued at selling price, that investment is going to be 238.53 crores. So we have worked out now both the investments. This profit is also worked out at both the levels, which is same. Investment we have worked out which is different, 196.82 at the cost price when the receivables are valued at, and 238.53 when the receivables are valued at selling price. Now the next step would be to calculate the cost, marginal cost, after profit, marginal profit and marginal investment. Now we will have to calculate the marginal cost at both the levels. When the receivables are valued at cost price and the receivables are valued at selling price, what is going to be the total cost of this investment in all senses, taking into account the investment cost, bad debt losses, collection cost, opportunity cost, all these costs. By taking these into account, how much is the cost when the receivables are valued at cost, how much is the cost when the receivables are valued at selling price, and then that cost, both these costs will be compared with the profit, which is we are going to have the marginal profit, that is 102.5 crores, and then we will have to see if the cost is lesser than the profits, then we will go for, say, taking the credit policy decision. Otherwise we will not take this credit policy decision and we will not relax the credit policy. So how to calculate the cost now and that total cost at two levels, when the receivables are valued at cost and valued at selling price, how to calculate the cost and how to compare it and how to take the final decision, that I will discuss with you in the next class. Thank you very much.